How should the Springboks line up for their first game of the Autumn Nation series against Scotland? Now, there's been a couple of injuries over the past couple of weeks. Jan-Hendrik Wessels, Frans Malherbe, and Damian Willemse. So there's a couple of key players there that probably would have made the starting lineup. So I would like to re-look at it. As always, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you haven't, please hit that subscribe button, leave this video a like. And let's get into this lineup. So starting off with the front row, obviously we do have those two injuries, Jan-Hendrik Wessels and Frans Malherbe. Now, I don't think Jan-Hendrik Wessels would have made an appearance in that first game against Scotland. I think he probably only would have played against Wales, even though he was sort of that utility hooker and prop. For France definitely would have started this game. He's arguably one of the best props in the world at the moment. So there is going to be a little bit of a shifting around in that starting lineup as well as on the bench. So for the front three, I've got Ox, who's obviously going to start. Bongi to come on in that hooker position. I just prefer Bongi coming on and starting ahead of Malcolm Marx because I think Malcolm Marx is more of an impact player from sort of that 45th, 50th minute. And then in that number 3 jersey, we have a couple of options, right? So we can go Vincent Koch, we can go Thomas du Toit, or we could go for Wilco Louw. Now, I just don't think Louw's going to get an opportunity against Scotland and England, potentially against Wales. So the argument here is, do we start Thomas du Toit or Vincent Koch? I'm going to keep it a Sharks front row just because they've been playing some really good rugby in the URC. So I'm going to put Vincent Koch in that number 3 jersey, making it Ox, Bongi, and Vincent, all Sharks players. Then into the lock positions. Now the locks, we've got Irben, Ruan, we've got Franco Mostert, and we have Archie Sneijma. Now Irben is going to be wearing that number 4 jersey. There's no discussion needed around that. The number 5 jersey is the more interesting option, right? Because Ruan, Archie, and Franco Mostert can all play in that number 5 jersey. I'll tell you why I don't think Franco Mostert is going to play in this first test. Only because he hasn't been in the Springbok system for a while because of that injury. He hasn't played much rugby coming into this, which then leaves Ruan Nokia and RG Sneijma. Now, Ruan Nokia had a phenomenal rugby championship, and I do think he was probably one of the finds of the season for the Springboks. I would prefer to start Ruan Nokia over Archie Sneijma just because I think Archie is a much better impact player than that of Ruan Nokia. So for that reason, I'm going to pay Irben and Ruan Nokia in the starting lineup in those lock positions. Then moving into the 6, 7, 8 combination, 6 Siya Kolisi, 7 Pieter-Steph du Toit. I don't think there's much discussion needed around those two. And then that 8 debate, right? Cameron Hanekom has now come in for Damian Willemse, which means we have Jasper Visser, Cameron Hanekom, Ulrich Louw, and Kwagga Smith that could all potentially play in that number 8 jersey. I think they're going to save Kwagga for the bench and an impact player. I don't think Cameron Hanekom is going to start against Scotland. I think he potentially will get a start against Wales, which then leaves Ulrich Louw and Jasper Visser, and that's kind of what they've been doing for the Rugby Championship, right? Ulrich will start, Jasper on the bench, or they'll switch it around. For the Scotland test, I'm going to start Jasper Visser, which then finishes off our pack, and a very, very lethal and dominant big pack that's definitely going to win us some scrum penalties and get us on the front foot. Then into the back line. Now, again, I think this is where a lot of you are going to disagree with me, but like I said in multiple previous videos, I think Rassie Erasmus and the Springboks are working on a combination system in that 9 and 10 jersey. I don't think we will see Grant Williams and Handré Pollard get paired up. I think we'll see the likes of a Kobus Reinach and a Handré Pollard paired up, and then Grant Williams, Jaden Hendrikse gets paired up with Manie Libbok. I just think that's how they've been playing it, and I think that's what they believe the best chemistry is within those positions. Now, the last time Manie Libbok played against Scotland was in the Rugby World Cup, where he did that whole no-look kick pass, and then Kurtley Arendse ended up scoring in the corner. The big issue that people have with Manie Libbok is obviously he's kicking towards poles, but he's been kicking really, really well for the Stormers at the moment. And I think against the likes of Finn Russell, who's most likely going to start for Scotland, Manie Libbok is a very good match because Manie is a playmaker, a lot like Finn Russell. And I do think Manie can get around him a lot easier than that of a Handré Pollard. I also think they might think that we're going to play Handré Pollard, so throwing Manie Libbok in the mix could be a little bit of a twist that maybe Scotland aren't going to predict. So for me, I'm going to start Marnie at 10 and I'm going to start Grant Williams at 9. I think Grant Williams is arguably our best scrum off in the Springboks set, in the Springbok squad at the moment. Yes, Jaden Hendrickse has been playing some good rugby and obviously Kobus Ranach, but because of that combination factor, I think Grant Williams and Marnie Lebok should start against Scotland. Then into the wings, these are pretty easy. I mean, obviously you can argue that Canan Moody or Makazole Mapimpi could potentially get a shot against Scotland, but I don't think that's going to happen. I'm going to go for Cheslin and Kurt Liarense, as I think many of you will. Then into the centre pairing. Now, there's a lot of players that can play the centre pairing, right? We've got Damien de Lende, we've got Andre Esterhuizen, Lukanya we've got Jordan Hendrickse that could potentially play inside centre. We've got Andre Pollard that could potentially play inside centre. But I do think for the Springboks, what they've sort of worked out and what they've been going with is that set Damien de Lende at 12, Jesse Creel at 13, and I think that's definitely our best combination at the moment. For England, we might have a different combination because Andre Esterhuizen has been playing some good rugby and Lukanya has also been playing some good rugby, and that they get that added factor that they've been playing together for the Sharks. So I don't think we should discredit how much that improves their chemistry for playing in and week out and maybe not mixing and matching too much. So I think Damien de Lende and Jesse Creel will start this test match against Scotland, and then I wouldn't be surprised to see Andre Esterhuizen and Lukanya get a shot together in that centre pairing. Then into the fullback position. Now, obviously, Damien Willemse got injured, and I think if Damien was fit and he was in the squad, he is probably first choice 15 at the moment. He's been playing some incredible rugby for the Stormers, and he provides that utility that Rassie Erasmus and the coaching staff loves so much. They've called up Jordan Hendrickse. I didn't speak too much about him in that number 10 jersey because I'm just wondering if they're going to prefer him at 10 or 15. He does play 10 for the Sharks, but he has played 15 as well. I don't think he's going to feature in the Scotland test. I think he's going to make his comeback again against Wales in that third test. So for me, I'm going to start Apelele Fassi, who I do think is the number one fullback in that position at the moment, and someone's definitely going to have to take that jersey from him. He's been playing phenomenally well for the Sharks. He's so good under the high ball. Yes, he made a couple of mistakes in the Rugby Championship, but the more he plays, the better he's going to get. So I think Apelele Fassi starts in that 15 jersey. Then into the bench. We're going to go with the 6-2 split. There is an argument to potentially put on a 7-1 split, but I just don't think we're going to be that risky. 16, Malcolm Marx. Has to be. I know Johan Grobler is now in the squad as well, but I just don't see him featuring in this test match against Scotland. Then into the props, Gerrit Steenkamp and Thomas du Toit are my two replacement props, which means that Volker Low is going to miss out. I just prefer Thomas du Toit because he can play that swing prop position, and he's probably one of the best props in the Premiership, the English Premiership at the moment. So I would love to see him get a lot of game time. Hopefully he does start one of the games. Him and Volker Low on a scrum could be very, very dangerous. But I'll go with Malcolm Marx, Gerrit Steenkamp, and Thomas du Toit. And then into that lock position, number 19, we're going to go with Archie Snyman on the bench. Just an impact player through and through. We've seen how well he's been playing for Leinster. Then the last two Lucy spots are going to go to Kwagga Smith and Ulrich Lowe for me. I just don't see them playing Marco van Staden or Cameron Hanekom in this test match. And I think that's a very, very powerful bomb squad. And then into the last two positions on the bench, replacement scrum off, I'm going to go for Kobus Ranach, and the last replacement backline player is going to be Andre Pollard. And I'll tell you why. Again, on that combination thing, Kobus and Andre go together. And also think if the game starts getting a little bit too tight at the end and we need Andre Pollard to come on and kick a vital penalty, then he is there for that option. So that's how I see the Springboks lining up against Scotland. As always, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Leave this video a like, and as always, absolutely mur that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy. Peace.